Dear colleagues, can you please quickly take a seat because we're going to start very soon. Okay, so dear Katerina Vladimirou, representative of the Minister of Education, Sports and Youth, Inspector of Secondary Education and National Coordinator of ASP.NET Schools of UNESCO Cyprus, dear Professor Akilas, Vice Rector of Financial Planning and Development, dear Niki Papa, Member of the University Board, representatives of the Rector of the Cyprus University of Technology, dear Mario Servas, Director of the University Library, dear attendees, dear colleagues, dear friends. It is a pleasure and a privilege for me to welcome you to the 53rd LIBER conference taking place here in Limassol. I'm very, very delighted to see that our large LIBER community is there today in Limassol, in this room, for this wonderful conference that is just starting. I'm very grateful to the Ministry of Education, Sports and Youth, dear Katerina Vladimirou, to the Cyprus University of Technology, dear Professor Akilas and dear Niki Papa, and more specifically to the library, dear Marios, for the invitation to host our annual Congress here in Cyprus. It is indeed the first time the LIBER Annual Conference is taking place here. Established in 2004, the CUT is one of the 3 public universities in Cyprus, with approximately 4,000 students and 40 research centers in 2024. The university library actually serves the higher education and research community. Since the inception of the Cyprus Libraries Consortium as a non-profit organization in 2018, the library has held the presidency and the coordination of all consortium negotiations and subscriptions with publishers at a national level. In 2023, the library successfully completed the Erasmus project named Building the Capacity of Librarians and Educators, with the creation of 6 information literacy courses. As a result, the library has been selected and will participate in an IFLA program on media literacy. The library has also developed a current research information system called CTISIS. Based on this space, the tool helps the research community evaluate the activities of researchers and allocates budgets for research activities. Additionally, the library has significant experience with digitization activities and digital library infrastructures, contributing to the local ecosystem through the preservation and promotion of cultural heritage. The Library of Cyprus University of Technology is obviously a good example of the dynamism of research and university libraries in Europe. Our host also illustrates the diversity of our professional community gathered here today. With more than 420 research libraries members of LIBER in 40 countries, LIBER is the largest library association in Europe, including not only university and research libraries, but also public and national libraries spread all over the continent, uniting a wide range of cultural backgrounds that makes our network truly unique. Inside LIBER, small to middle-sized institutions converse and cooperate with very large and heavily research-intensive ones. So do specialized and applied science libraries with comprehensive library systems. This diversity, cultural, institutional, organizational, and thematic, is highly beneficial to all of us, and more broadly to the people we serve as librarians. Our conference this year in Limassol, with some 400 attendees, will indeed illustrate that vivid conversation. This aligns with the theme of our conference, State-of-the-Art Libraries in the Service of Science and Society. Research libraries operate in a rapidly changing world. They develop state-of-the-art and up-to-date services, spaces, and collections in order to serve science and society efficiently. To do so, every library and its mother institution define a strategy that is relevant, adapted, and tailored to the needs and the means of their local community and context in a networked and collaborative environment. That is where LIBER and its extensive portfolio of activities, webinars, and conferences stand. I hope that in the program of our annual Congress, you will find ideas, examples, and inspirations to tackle the challenges ahead of our libraries, helping you maintain and develop relevant services for our users. Again, thank you, dear Dr. Vladimirou, dear Professor Achelas, dear Niki Papa, and dear Marios, for welcoming our conference in Limassol and making this conversation possible for our professional community.
Cher Julien, bienvenue à Chypre. Dear members of the LIBER board, I would like to thank you for making it possible for us to organize such an important conference. Dear representative of the Cypriot Minister of Education, Sport and Youth, dear Vice Director of Financial Planning and Development, dear members of the CUT board, dear participants, on behalf of the Cyprus University of Technology Library, welcome to the 53rd LIBER conference. Dear participants, welcome to Cyprus, to Limassol, to Cyprus University of Technology. Cyprus is the third largest island in the Mediterranean. It is at the crossroads of three continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. It has a rich history dating back to 11,500 BC. There are prehistoric settlements, ancient Greek temples, Roman theaters and villas, early Christian basilicas, Byzantine church and monasteries, Crusader castles, Gothic church, Venetian fortification, Muslim monuments, and British colonial buildings, such as the building that today houses our library. The library staff and me personally will do our best to ensure that you have a successful conference. The title of this year's conference is State of the Art Libraries at the Service of Science and Society. It is truly representative of the role that our library wants to play in supporting the universities and our country's academic community through diverse activities, but also the society itself through its partnership with local entities. With this brief greeting, I would like to invite to the stage the representative of the Minister of Education, Sports and Youth, Inspector of Secondary Education, Dr. Katerina Vladimirou. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be here with you today to address the annual conference of the Association of European Research Libraries and address the opening ceremony on behalf of the Minister of Education, Sport and Youth, Dr. Athina Michailidou. The university libraries in Cyprus serve as invaluable assets not only for the advancement of science, but also for the enrichment of our society. It is important to trace the historical journey of higher education in Cyprus. The establishment of universities in Cyprus marks a pivotal moment in our country's educational landscape. Dating back to 1989, the inception of the first public university, the University of Cyprus, laid the groundwork for a robust academic environment. Some years later, the Open University of Cyprus was founded in 2002 and welcomed the first students in 2006. The following year, in 2007, the Cyprus University Technology, which hosts the current conference, was established to offer areas of studies related to applied sciences and technology. Subsequently, in 2005, an amendment to the legislation paved the way to the establishment of private universities, further diversifying our higher education sector. Today, Cyprus boasts a total of 12 universities, comprising 3 public and 9 private universities. There are also 48 institutes of tertiary education, public and private. This development has significantly contributed to the educational diversity and accessibility within our country. With close to 53,000 students enrolled in these institutions of higher education, registered in more than 1,300 programs of study at all levels, it is evident that education holds a central position in our society. Notably, more than 41% of these students come from the European Union and 14% from third countries, establishing Cyprus as an international hub, particularly in the post-Brexit era. The influx of international students not only enriches our cultural diversity, but also fosters international collaboration and exchange of ideas. Restructuring and enhancing higher education in Cyprus stand as pivotal actions within the governance program. The government is actively endeavoring to address the disparity between higher education and the labor market, while also focusing on the internationalization of higher education institutions. Libraries, as integral components of these institutions, play a vital role in supporting teaching, research, and the preservation of intellectual output across Cyprus. Among these, the University of Cyprus Library stands as a beacon of knowledge, housed within a masterpiece of architectural brilliance created by the renowned architect Jean Nouvel. The design of the University of Cyprus Library building itself is a testament of the fusion of functionality and aesthetics. Jean Nouvel's vision encapsulates the essence of modernity while seamlessly blending with Cyprus' cultural heritage. The library stands as an architectural masterpiece, embodying not just a repository for books, but also representing a commitment to intellectual exploration and scholarly achievement. Through its innovative design, it cultivates a space that nurtures both learning and research endeavors. Moreover, the support extended to the Cyprus Libraries Consortium underlines the collective commitment towards enhancing educational resources and accessibility. Through this collaborative effort, libraries across Cyprus coordinate their efforts to provide a comprehensive repository of knowledge and information. Not only does this consortium facilitate resource sharing, but it also promotes cooperation and cohesion within the academic community. In essence, the university libraries in Cyprus serve as dynamic hubs of intellectual activity. They embody the ethos of lifelong learning, innovation, and cultural preservation. These libraries are not just physical spaces, but vibrant ecosystems that nurture curiosity, critical thinking, and academic inquiry. Furthermore, in an increasingly digital age, these libraries have embraced technology to make knowledge accessible to all. Digital archives, online databases, and virtual libraries have enabled access to information transcending geographical boundaries and socioeconomic barriers. By harnessing the power of technology, Cyprus libraries are at the forefront of the digital revolution, ensuring that knowledge remains accessible to all. In conclusion, the university libraries in Cyprus epitomize our country's commitment to education, enlightenment, and societal advancement. They stand as monuments to human intellect and ingenuity, fostering a culture of learning and that transcends generations. As we continue to navigate the complexities of the 21st century, let us cherish and uphold the invaluable role of libraries in shaping a better and more informed society for all. Thank you.
So, dear Dr. Vladimiru, dear Marius, thank you very much for your kind words. We already enjoyed the famous hospitality here in Cyprus. We know that we will have more experience even in the coming days, and I guess that tonight we will have a bit of a taste of the cultural and food experience here in Cyprus. So I'm really looking forward to that moment. It's time to move to a bit formal but very short part of this opening ceremony before we hand it over to our first keynote speaker. And I'm handing over to Anya Smith, our Secretary General, for this formal part. Anya.
Thank you very much, Julien. Dear colleagues, in particular right now, dear participating organizations and libraries in LIBER. We'll talk a little bit about governance, and for that it is needed to formally open the meeting of participants of LIBER of this year. We will have our business meeting tomorrow afternoon to really decide on organizational decisions that we need to make, and participants, of course, are important to do that. So tomorrow afternoon, we will do that business. It is important now to open the meeting because there are things that we will set in motion already. LIBER participants are represented in the LIBER board. There's 13 people in the LIBER board who each serve a term of 2 years and can be re-elected twice. We will ask you tomorrow in the meeting of participants to ratify the reappointment of 5 of the current members of the LIBER board. Oh, yes, there we are. I'm not seeing it here on the screen, so okay. The reappointments that we will ask you to ratify are of Adam Sovronovic, University of Belgrade in Serbia, reappointment of Anna Clements, University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom, Cécile Chouatek, Paris-Nanterre University in France, Dora Khalidi of the Academy of Sciences in Hungary, and of Sarah Lamans Royal Library in Belgium. We also have one vacancy in the board as of this Friday, and we will ask you to vote for one of the candidates that are standing for this position in the LIBER board. There's two nominees at this point. That's Thomas Karstedt from the University Library of Southern Denmark and Carme Fenol Clarabruch of the Polytechnical University of Catalonia Library in Spain. And they will now present themselves. And we'll start.
Hello, my name is Thomas Karstedt. I'm Deputy Library Director at the SDU Library in Denmark. I'm running for the LIBER Executive Board on a platform for promoting citizen science. Together with Tiberius Ignat, I have been co-chairing the Citizen Science Working Group in LIBER for the last few years, and I work every day with researchers, librarians, and researchers in order to onboard the library community and researchers to citizen science. So my hope is that if you elect me to the board, LIBER will be a strong presence, not only in open science, but in citizen science, and the community of people within LIBER that works with citizen science are working very, very strongly to that cause. So today I am at the KIT in Karlsruhe for a project with my good colleague Jaroslav from Poznan, who kindly is filming this. I go around Europe quite a lot and work on citizen science projects. And I think LIBER has all kinds of opportunities to do partnerships within citizen science. So if you elect me to the board, I will work on enhancing LIBER's open science and citizen science presence through partnerships with EXA, with Epicure, and with SciStarter and other members of the greater citizen science community. Thank you.
That was Thomas. Now let's go to Carmen. She will shortly be with us.
Hello everyone, my name is Carme Fenol and I'm honored to be considered for a position on the LIBER board. I'm currently the director of the area of culture and community at the Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. My special areas of interest include the integration of university libraries into the core activities of the institutions, enhancing research connectivity, and exploring innovative practices from various fields to add value to our libraries. As a librarian and cultural activist with experience in various types of libraries, I have held a university position that has made me see very clearly the need for university libraries and research to be more connected to the core of the organization and to provide maximum added value. I'm particularly interested in the connection between university libraries and the community they serve, the cultural dimension, the design of new spaces, and citizen science to allow research libraries to be better understood in the future. Thank you for considering my candidacy. I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to the work of LIBER and to collaborate with all of you in advancing our shared vision. Thank you.
So, dear colleagues, these are the two candidates that you can vote for. And now I'd like to say a few practical things about the voting. First of all, you have to be the representative of your organization that is registered in the administration of LIBER as the official representator. If you have indicated that you are the formal representation, but there's a different name in the administration, you should have received an email. If not, you're all clear to vote. Voting for the positions in the board are done with a closed ballot. Yes, there we go. You can retrieve your ballot at the LIBER desk. Please do so because you are asked to vote today or before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if you want to have a little bit of a sleep in tomorrow morning, please vote today. There are other things that we will be voting on in the meeting of participants tomorrow afternoon, and for that, you will need a voting card. You want to retrieve your voting card that you will held up to vote tomorrow afternoon at the start of the meeting at the entrance. It is important that you have your card to vote and also that you get and collected it because we need to count the votes. So it's important to know how many cards we have issued. So the meeting of participants will take place at 4:45 to 4:45 tomorrow afternoon. One more request. We will count the votes tomorrow and we will start at 9 o'clock. So it's very important that you vote in time. And we need 3 tellers in total to conduct a very formal and important procedure. There is already 1 volunteer. We need 2 more volunteers to count the votes tomorrow morning from 9 to, let's say, 11 o'clock. If there are volunteers, please put your name in at the LIBER desk or contact me. Thank you very much. And this concludes my contribution.
So it's now my pleasure to invite on stage our Vice President Janis Chakonas for the Conference Program Committee report. Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. It is a pleasure to have you here in Cyprus. An extreme pleasure indeed for the Cypriot colleagues, a brother nation for us. Well, I will give you the outline of the conference program. As you know, we are running a conference program committee. We are receiving the submissions from members of our network, but even from outside of our network. So this year we received a total of 148 submissions, standard presentations around 100, 18 poster presentations, 14 panel presentations, that was impressive, first time, and 14 workshop proposals. So the final program comprises of 36 standard presentations, 20 posters, as we were able to repurpose some of the standard presentations that, didn't make it to the final program for the oral presentations, but they were quite interesting enough, so we asked the presenters to consider if they would like to be as a poster. 2 panels, 2 very interesting panels, and then workshops. As you know, we had 7 topics, and the 3 more interesting one in terms of the submissions that they received are charting the field of artificial intelligence for research libraries. So I can understand that artificial intelligence is a very hot topic for our community. Evaluating the impact of open science on research libraries, a very key theme for LIBER members, and innovating on the use of library spaces. This year we make some recalibration of the selection process. So I think that we have a very balanced program across all 7 topics. Now, some key points. This time we received all proposals through our platform, Conf tool. This helped us to keep the timeline. This helped us to be consistent, with the whole operation. It was a significant effort from all the CPC members, and I would like to publicly thank them because they invested a lot of their time and expertise to give good reviews. Some remarks. This time we had more EU countries submitting, 26 from 22, and of course, relatively, we had an increase for those that had the papers accepted. More submissions than in the past, from Southern and Eastern countries. This is something that we like always to pay attention to because we want to be truly inclusive, to have a true representation from all our regions. We checked also what kind of organizations submitted to us. So we had 6 submissions from national libraries, 9 from research institutes, 24 from project network infrastructures, things that we collectively do, and 53 from universities. But as you have seen in the program, we have international participation outside of the European Union. So we have people from Mexico, from New Zealand, from the United States, from Canada, and I think this is something that makes us very pleased and very happy. Now, in 2025, we are going to experiment a little bit with the format. We think that our workshops that we had earlier today, it might be good to be embedded in the frame of the program. Therefore, we will move them in the first 2 days of the conference during the afternoon. We think that this will be better also for the local organizer in order to accommodate in a more convenient and affordable way those so many parallel sessions. But at the same time, we want to create space for interactivity and social connectivity in that sessions. So we will work on this in order to provide a format that at least we will experiment, we will test it, and we will see how it will be received from you. Also, with this new format, we want to promote the poster presentations. Sometimes these presentations are neglected, but we really think that in those contributions, we see many great ideas. So I guess that we owe to the colleagues who present their posters to give them more space also. And of course, the order of the social gatherings will change: first the reception and then the dinner. Now we do first the dinner, then the reception. So we hope that these changes will help the conference to be to remain live, to remain interactive, and of course to improve, enhance the experience. Now we are continuously seeking to improve the conference. Therefore, if you have any idea, please contact me. And of course, if you know any CPC member, we have 27 CPC members. I guess that you will know somebody from us. You can tell us your idea, and we promise that we will process it, and we will try to make it, a reality in the perspective of making the conference more engaging, to broaden participation, and to highlight excellent cases from all countries. I think that this is my part for the official program. So Julien would like to make a few announcements more.
So a few very extra announcements before we move to the more scientific part of the this afternoon. We will have extra activities. So please just watch the screens in the premises here, and you will have opportunities to join these activities and so on. So you will have a little bit of surprise regarding that, and also ask the volunteers and the staff for more details regarding that. And to finish with, to join the discussion, if you have any question, of course, you can always talk to us at the LIBER desk. Members of the LIBER office will always be there. We have, of course, an online account on X, so you can of course use it on Instagram, and we will have a live illustrations from Elko van Staveren regarding the whole conference, which will probably make it very vivid. So thank you very much for listening to this bit formal part, and now let's move to a scientific program. I hand it over to Janice again for introducing our first keynote speaker. Janice.
Well, as chair of the conference program committee, I have the pleasure to moderate this session, the session of the first keynote speaker. And I would like to introduce you our first keynote speaker, Constantia Constantinou, who is a Cypriot colleague. She has worked many years in the United States, and I will give you the outline of her career. But she's coming from the island of Cyprus, and more specific from the city of Famagusta, and once very beautiful city, now it's like a ghost city, and this is a very beautiful event. So Constantia is an independent scholar and library dean emerita of Stony Brook University, SUNY, a distinguished leader renowned of her pioneering work in integrating large university library systems with broader academic missions. With a career marked by innovation and strategic vision, she has spearheaded digital, multimedia, and technology initiatives within prestigious institutions. Constantia has received a distinguished alumni award from the Graduate School of Library and Information Studies at Queen's College in 2014, and this is the same institution that I awarded her a degree in music. And frankly, I don't know any Cypriot who doesn't love or know music. And they believe they have excellent voices, all the Cypriots. Somehow, I don't know, it's in the water, okay? So as Vice Provost and Director of Libraries at the University of Pennsylvania, Constantia led the executive management of all 19 libraries. Previously, she served as Dean of University Libraries at the State University of New York, Stony Brook University, and Maritime College. She's dedicated to advancing open access and digital humanities, and therefore she culminated in the establishment of a Center of Scholarly Communication. She has also served in leadership roles in prominent organizations like the Association of Research Libraries and the International Federation of Library Associations. Constantia's speech is titled Towards Inclusive Research Library Environments, Integrated Diversity into Operations and Facilities, and underscores the significance of actively integrate diverse perspectives into collection development, research support services, programming initiatives, staffing practices, and spatial designs within research libraries. I will stop outlining her speech here, and I would like to invite Constantia to share with us her experience and profound knowledge.
Good afternoon, everyone, and what an extraordinary pleasure to join you in the annual conference of the Association of European Research Libraries right here in Cyprus. The birthplace of Aphrodite is beautifully depicted on the conference logo, as you see. I'm reminded of a sentence in Euripides' play, The Bacchae, where he writes, to set foot on Aphrodite's island on Cyprus, haunted by the loves who enchant brief life with sweetness. And I'm certain that the beauty of Cyprus, The people of Cyprus will impress you beyond any enchantment. I would like to thank the organizing committee and our host institution, the Technologiko Panepistimio Kipru, and the staff for your tireless work organizing the conference. My name is Constantia, and thank you, Yannis, for this most generous introduction. And it is my honor to be in good company of so many speakers and so many attendees. Even though my work as a librarian has been in the United States, I'm also a proud Cypriot who had the privilege to work as a Fulbright scholar with the Greek and the Turkish Cypriot librarians to realize that our divided communities of librarians inspire respect and understanding and unite us in the spirit of our common library values. So the topic of my presentation, incorporating diversity into library organizations, is also a recognition of our global and cultural diversity as a European Union, to be a welcoming community to all. We inspire equitable access to knowledge and resources where all individuals feel valued, respected, and empowered to participate fully in library services and activities. The presentation discusses strategies and provides some examples from my experiences as a library director in the United States for creating and supporting an inclusive organization that thrives on celebrating diversity into the library organization. The presentation is about 30 minutes long, allowing us plenty of time for a discussion, questions, and the opportunity to learn from each other, from each other's libraries and countries as our organizations practice our values. I'll be talking about developing diversity in collection development, collection curation, and preservation, taxonomy, classification, cataloging, and the discovery of our collections in a variety of cultural, linguistic, and socioeconomic subject areas, diversity in research support services, in programming initiatives such as organizing lectures, inviting guest speakers with diverse points of view, developing programs and exhibits that celebrate diverse identities of our human experiences, developing and supporting the diversity of our staff, incorporating hiring practices whenever possible, and shaping a workforce that is reflective of our community. And last but not least, the importance of creating library spaces where all users feel welcome, spaces to accommodate the diverse needs and preferences of our users, including those with different learning and physical abilities. As librarians, we are all guided and inspired by the values of our professional associations that we all helped form and to put into practice. Our values reaffirm our commitment to being an inclusive and diverse community. The Association of Research Libraries in North America, that includes the United States Research Libraries and Canadian Research Libraries, states in the diversity statement that research libraries work to advance access to economic and social prosperity, encourage full participation in society, and address the historical lack of aspects to materials about underrepresented groups. We ensure that our community continues to improve the representation of historically underrepresented, underserved, or marginalized groups in information resources. And similar values echo the LIBER member libraries in the powerful statement and document of goals in 2023 to 2027 strategy to ensure that research library priorities rank high in the European Union. In the section Upholding Rights and Values, libraries embody and uphold the values of integrity, diversity, and inclusion inside and outside the research community. LIBER's vision is to develop guiding principles that uphold values of academic sovereignty, copyright, diversity, equality, and inclusivity, European solidarity, integrity, and transparency, privacy, and user rights and sustainability. Now, let us turn our attention to collections. Our collections and services provide the gateway to our users to discover our libraries and to form special relationships with us. Therefore, we have a responsibility to ensure that library collections reflect not only the academic rigor of our universities, but also the diverse perspectives and experiences of our academic communities. This involves actively recruiting collections by authors and about individuals from different backgrounds. Some examples include scholarly works and primary resources that explore issues related to race, ethnicity, gender, religion, sexuality, political beliefs, and ideologies. Working closely with our faculty, our researchers, and in many cases, our community members, we begin to identify gaps in our collections, and we design strategies for prioritizing the acquisition of materials either through purchases or gift opportunities that reflect the diversity of scholarship of our human experience. As an example, in the United States and Canada, there is a great emphasis on celebrating the cultures and the languages of Native American tribes by collecting indigenous collections, artifacts, music, dance, and other forms of art. At the University of Pennsylvania, when I was a vice provost for libraries, we were gifted a set of glass plates of some of the very first photographs taken of Native Americans. Now, in partnership with the university's museums, we restore those glass plates and the photographs, and we exhibit them, paying attention to realization that those photographs were taken most likely by a white European person, and perhaps they were enhanced in order to depict some of the colorful images. That was important for us to realize that those were not exclusively authentic images, but they were perhaps enhanced and altered. Other areas of collections which document diversity in our libraries in the United States is civil rights movements, the African American experience, and the human rights experience for equal rights. In addition to developing library collections in major European languages, American universities actively build collections that reflect the linguistic diversity of non-Western languages, such as South Asian, Hebrew, and Arabic languages. And it's quite extraordinary the emphasis that we place on collections in regional dialects. For example, at the University of Pennsylvania, again, we have developed deep research collections in Asian languages, South Asian languages, with materials in more than 20 languages and dialects spoken in Pakistan, which was a surprise to me to know that. Collaborations with other libraries, archives, and cultural institutions provide additional access and opportunities to preserve material that document diverse perspectives. This includes opportunities for our libraries to provide support for joint research projects for our faculty and researchers, cross-border partnerships, and collaborative initiatives that address global challenges and promote intellectual dialogue and intellectual curiosity. The open access movement has introduced another new layer of diversity in our collections. By supporting open access publishing models, we advocate for diversity in scholarly communication and advancing visibility of content and research from different authors and different groups while challenging biases in academic publishing. Our form of communication, the written and spoken word, language, and terminology are always in constant evolution. The taxonomy and the classification of human vocabulary is influenced by elements of our cultural linguistics and socioeconomic backgrounds. Consider the remarkable influence, our ability, and our responsibility as librarians to create and assign subject headings to the universe of recorded knowledge. Unfortunately, imperfect and harmful histories and terminologies have made their way into our collections labeling and classification. And then becomes our responsibility to identify the terms, contextualize them, and replace them all together if appropriate. Similar to the De-Bias project that aims to detect and give context to harmful language in cultural heritage collections aggregated in the Europeana database, in the United States, research libraries have embarked in an effort to review library catalogs and to ensure that subject headings in our library catalogs, hidden collections, archival collections reflect our principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Recent examples in the United States brought to the United States Congress are terms such as illegal aliens. The term illegal alien is considered demeaning. The word alien describes an entity that is not human, perhaps not from this planet. Therefore, the request to replace the term illegal alien with the term undocumented immigrant was brought up to the Congress in the United States. Needless to say, unfortunately, the request was not approved by the United States Congress, and therefore the Library of Congress was not able to change the subject heading, but our libraries have moved forward to revise our catalogs at the local level independently. And that is just one example. Now, equally important to developing diverse collections and inclusive metadata is also important to ensure that our services for research are accessible and inclusive to all users. By advocating for open access publishing models, we challenge the systematic biases in academic publishing, and we support the research of diverse authors and institutions and organizations. Like the European Open Science Cloud and the Horizon Europe Framework Program, in 2022, the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy updated the United States policy to make taxpayer-supported research immediately available to all Americans at no cost. The mandate that goes into effect in December of 2025 will bring all federal agencies into alignment with this open access publishing policy for data and research. and will reshape access to scientific research that is taking place in the United States, providing a greater access to the latest United States scientific research to the rest of the world. Our libraries are the mirror image of our communities and a reflection of our human identities. Our libraries are uniquely positioned to be the center of interdisciplinary collaboration and knowledge exchange, facilitating these connections between researchers, faculty from different backgrounds and different disciplines. By forging partnerships with community organizations, cultural institutions, we broaden the scope of research activities for our universities while we promote cross-cultural understanding. European libraries, and I'm so envious of European libraries, have this unique benefit to exist in close geographic proximity. There's no ocean to separate you from the rest of the world. You speak different languages, share different experiences from many cultures, music, cuisine, customs, and traditions. These programmatic events, such as exhibitions, performances, digital initiatives, and collaborations, amplify diverse voices, preserve cultural heritage, and address global challenges with common purpose of making knowledge accessible to the world. These events invite our local communities, public and municipal libraries, schools, museums, and other cultural institutions to participate and to celebrate. One example that I'm especially proud at the University of Pennsylvania is when we collaborated with the Philadelphia Orchestra, one of the oldest orchestras in the United States, to acquire their archives. The collection documents the music history of the city for the last 150 years, with music scores, recordings, and journals. Now, after we processed the collection and we digitized the archives, we celebrated the collection in concerts, exhibits, and lectures by inviting the city of Philadelphia and forming this very unique partnership. As librarians, we are the stewards of universal knowledge, ideals, and values of our profession. We also recognize that we live in a world of imperfect histories. Therefore, we focus on recruiting individuals from all backgrounds and communities to be part of the composition of our libraries. It is important that we provide opportunities and we train our staff in all issues regarding equity, diversity and inclusion, cultural respect, inclusive language, and accessibility. We continue to learn from intercultural communication and how to conduct cross-cultural ethical research and historical and cultural contexts of different regions. Fostering a culture of continuous learning and accountability within the organization, we succeed in transforming our libraries to become the most welcoming and inclusive places in our universities and in our academic communities. Now, this quote may sound familiar to you. The library's physical spaces play an important role in making our users and our staff feel welcome. We adhere to legal guidelines for creating accessible spaces for people with different physical abilities, but it's also important to model spaces that accommodate the diverse needs and preferences of our users, especially with those with different learning abilities. We incorporate inclusive and design principles into planning and designing library spaces. This involves ensuring that the physical environment, the furniture, the signage, the technology is accessible to our users. We provide assisted technologies adaptive equipment, and alternative formats to accommodate diverse needs and preferences. But we also consider factors such as universal design, ergonomic seating, adjustable desks, clear wayfinding, and sensory-friendly features to create a welcoming and inclusive space for the diversity of our users. But most importantly, we are mindful of cultural sensitivities among the users, and we incorporate those elements and design of our library spaces. In order to inspire a sense of belonging, we create exhibits and displays and events that celebrate traditions and contributions from our diverse communities to our libraries. I remember a student telling me once after a music event in the library that celebrated the traditional music of his background, I see myself in the library. And such expressions of belonging inspires and transforms everything that we do. I see myself in the library. I belong in the library. And in closing, I would like to add that it's important for our libraries and for our professional organizations to advocate for national and international policies and practices that promote equity, diversity, and inclusion. There is strength in numbers and collective effort that unifies our voices to truly make a difference in becoming an inclusive society and a welcoming library community to all. Thank you for this privilege to share my thoughts with you and my experiences, and I welcome a discussion where we can share information, learn from each other, and perhaps find from each other countries and libraries what's best for our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Constantia, for this very insightful, at least, speech. I think that you didn't give answers. You opened a lot of questions, and I'm afraid to accept only one from the audience because we're a little bit back at the schedule. While somebody raises the hand, I would like to give this gift to Constantia for her kindness to give us this speech. Is there any question from the audience, please?
Yannis, may I show this to the audience?
Yes, of course.
This is the statue of Pomos. This is one of the oldest statues found in Cyprus.
Here,
yes.
So that
Excuse
they
me.
can hear us from the live stream.
It says LIBER 2024, Limassol, Cyprus. It is the statue of Pomos. You will also recognize this on the euro coin of Cyprus. It is the statue, female statue, which is holding her child. It was first found in 5000 BC in a small village. This statue makes me so proud to be a Cypriot that I choose to always wear it with me.
So I would like again to invite somebody from the audience to ask a question. I do have a question, but I wouldn't like to take it from the audience. So please step up, somebody. Yes, Sarah, there. Yes, please. Chrysanthi, I will have to repeat it just to hear it, the people who live stream. So Sarah can make the question and I will repeat it again.
If you have to make choices in making your collections more diverse, for instance, budget choices or choices what to include in available space. How do you do this? And is this like as diverse as possible, or do you kind of make a selection depending on local communities or something?
So Sarah de Koster from KU Leuven from Belgium asked what kind of decision someone takes and what kind of tools uses in order to make the collections inclusive and diverse. Is that so, Sarah? Yes.
Thank you, Sarah, for this important question. We make those distinctions as possible as what the research suggests in our universities. If we have programs and researchers whose emphasis or work is in my case, in my university, South Asia collections or Arabic collections, we focus our research in those areas. We also try not to replicate the effort with other research libraries that focus on different other areas. For example, some library will be collecting in Japanese literature, where another library will choose to collect in Mongolian languages. And by allowing different libraries to have concentrated efforts, and by having the responsibility of making those collections digitized or accessible to the rest of the world, is how we ensure that there is strong diversity and representation of groups and collections and cultures and ethnic backgrounds that they were not represented in other libraries. But it's also important to ensure that we collaborate among us so that those collections are shared with everyone else.
Okay, I think that Constantia will be with us for a couple of days. So definitely I'm going to develop this, to expand this discussion, because she raised so many issues and I find them very intriguing. But for the very, very practical, before going to the practical things, let's applaud Constantia once more. And now the practical things, not boring one, I promise. A few announcements. Posters are already on the boards in the foyer of the Andreas Themistokleous building, the building that we were in the beginning of the day. I would like to invite you to visit the poster area and read the interesting work of our colleagues and discuss with them. You will find a lot of great ideas, as I said before, and you will have the opportunity tomorrow to vote for the best poster. So first, see them, talk with the presenters, and make your choice. The next thing in our program is our conference photo that it will be taken in front of the Senate building. This is 3 minutes away by foot, and the volunteers of our host will help us to go there. So we will raise, not now, and we will go to the Senate building to take the traditional conference photo. And as a final announcement, there is a pre-dinner cocktail. The day is long, okay? And this is Cypriot hospitality, okay? There is a pre-dinner cocktail at the courtyard of the Andreas Themistokleous building, courtesy of our sponsors and exhibitors. So we will have some drinks before we go to the coast, again with the help of our volunteers, close to the Hotel Nix, and we will, some of us who will go to the dinner, we will be picked up by the buses to go to the dinner at 6:30. The drinks are at 5:30. We will go to the buses at 6:30 with the help of our hosts. So now let's go and take the traditional LIBER photo. Thank you very much for attending this session. Constantias,